So you're not actually waiting for the universe to give you your manifestation. The universe is actually waiting for you to be ready for it. Have you ever been manifesting something and felt like it's taking too long? Maybe you thought it was going to come within a certain time frame, but then the time frame has passed and you don't understand why you haven't received the manifestation yet. Well, I'm going to explain to you the concept of divine timing. Divine timing has nothing to do with the external clock that you see. So it really is beyond time. It's called divine timing, yes, but don't think about time when you're thinking about this. It really is going to be based off of your internal clock. So our internal clock is not really connected to the external. So for somebody, they're going to manifest something almost instantaneously, and they're going to receive that manifestation within a certain external time frame. Maybe that's going to be, let's say, a week later, right? And then for somebody else, their internal clock is going to bring them their manifestation within a month or within a year. So there is no measurement that you can say, oh, divine timing is in 3 months or in 2 weeks, or it takes 1 month to get a manifestation, or it takes 2 weeks to get a manifestation. There is no definition that's going to give you an external time frame, because it's all based on your internal clock. And our internal clock is going to have that right moment when our manifestation is going to actually materialize in the external world. And that is going to be determined by your internal readiness. So if you've been manifesting for a while, and if you've been working on your inner growth and your self-awareness, then you probably have already become aware of certain cycles that happen in your life. So you've probably become aware of certain ups and downs within your emotional space. You've probably noticed that the universe tends to have certain things happen at certain times. And if you are intuitive, then you'll really understand that the reason these things are happening, these challenges, is because you are going through the cycle of manifestation, right? So a lot of people think that if they're manifesting something and obstacles come up, that means that they're doing something wrong. But it's actually the opposite. When you're manifesting and things start going wrong, that's actually a good sign, because it means that what you're doing is working and you're going through the cycle of manifestation. So let's talk about the cycle of manifestation so you can kind of understand how I'm going to put it into perspective, so you're able to sort of detach from the external time and tap into your internal clock, which is where you're going to unlock this divine timing, this effortless flow where time goes by really slow and really fast at the same time, and you honestly don't even know when things are going to happen, but they happen at the exact perfect moment. So think about manifestation like a circle, okay? It goes around and around and around. There's no beginning, there's no end. But usually when we initiate a new cycle of manifestation, it starts off with a decision of some kind. So we've decided that we don't like the way things are going and we want something new, or we want to alter something within our reality. So that initial awareness is what's going to start the cycle of manifestation. From there, you're going to move on to setting a specific intention. So you've made a decision that, this isn't working for me. I need to manifest a better relationship. I need to manifest more money, a different career. I need to manifest more confidence, less anxiety, more health, a better physical appearance. better skin, whatever it is that you're manifesting, you're then going to set a very specific intention for it. So this is when you've really solidified within your decision and you're no longer just thinking about whether or not you want to manifest something. You've actually truly set an intention and said, yes, this is going to change and I'm going to change this no matter what it takes. From there, you usually move on to the phase of figuring out how you're going to make the change. So in this phase, it's important to have a balance between the external and the internal. So you want to balance the things that you're doing spiritually with the things that you're doing physically. So let's say you've decided that you want to create more sources of income for yourself. You no longer want your financial abundance to be tied to your time or to be tied to working for someone else, and you want to work for yourself. That's a great intention to have. Which, by the way, if that is your intention, I do have a course for that. It's called the Divinely Compensated Course. I'll literally walk you through step by step and give you both the spiritual and the physical, because I feel like you either get like the physical steps you need to take or you get like the spirituality aspect of it, but few creators actually combine both of the aspects to give you a holistic approach to actually starting your own business. So if you're interested in that, it's linked in the description. But as I said, when you're setting your intention and when you're moving on to the phase of deciding how you're going to manifest this, you want to balance the external and the internal. So not only do you want to visualize yourself as a business owner and do your affirmations and meditate on this, you also want to put in physical steps. You also want to read books about business or look into the industries that you want to go into. You also want to actually do something about it, right? Like actually create your website or create the products that you're going to sell or look for manufacturing opportunities or whatever business that you're trying to start. It's specific to you. There's different steps that you're going to need to take. But when you're manifesting, you have to balance both the physical and the spiritual. You can't just focus on the physical and ignore the internal state of who you are. But then if you just focus on who you are and your visualizations and spirituality and you don't physically do anything, you could be missing a lot of good opportunities, right? Because even when you're manifesting, like I've had it happen where I've just set an intention for something and maybe I've repeated an affirmation or I've quickly visualized it, and then a couple days later or a week later I'll get a strange opportunity presenting itself to me. But I still have to take the opportunity. I can't just say, oh, I'm manifesting it and I visualized it and it's just going to come to me. It did come to me, but it came to me in the form of an opportunity. And so in order to claim the manifestation, I have to actually take some kind of physical action in order to accept it into my reality. So getting back to the circle of manifestation, you've essentially made a decision that you want to manifest, you've set a strong intention, and you've kind of started working towards it. You've figured out what is the physical steps you're going to take and what are the spiritual steps you're going to take. From there, that is where most people stop. Because after this phase comes the challenges. So when you are leveling up and when you are essentially changing your identity, you're changing your baseline, base level frequency that you're vibrating at, there's going to be some tests and challenges. Now, a lot of people like to say, oh, this is the universe testing you. I know I've said before, yeah, the universe is testing you, or your old identity is trying to keep you stuck. And all of this is true, but you can also think about it like the universe keeping things in balance. So if you've stayed in one way for so long and you're going to change into another way, the universe is going to kind of keep you in balance, right? Like, for example, think about weight loss. So if you have constantly been eating a certain type of way and one day you eat in a completely opposite way, let's say every day you usually eat healthy foods, and then one day you eat all the junk food available, you eat a bunch of processed foods, you're not going to gain weight that day. Your body's not going to change just from one day of changing your behavior and changing your identity. You have to consistently start showing up as the new person in order for that to show up, right? So if you're used to eating healthy every single day, but then you start eating unhealthy, it's going to feel unnatural at first, then you're going to get used to it. Then a while after, you're going to actually see the results of your change. So you're going to actually see the effects of not eating healthy, right? And it's the same thing in the reverse. So if you're not eating healthy and you're not working out and you're not doing any of these things that are good for you, then you're going to have a certain type of appearance. You're going to have a certain identity. So your body's not just going to change overnight just from you eating differently one day. It's going to take time for you to gradually shift. So it's the same thing for manifestation. You can't break the cycle and break the pattern completely just by doing something one day, because it's not enough to put in enough energy into the new frequency, right? So think about it like you have two empty cups, and this cup has your old identity, and the new cup is your new identity. So right now, the cup of your old identity is completely full because that's what you've been accustomed to doing your entire life. So as you start to transfer the liquid into your new identity, into this cup, into the new cup, it's still going to take a while before the new cup fills up to the point where it can outweigh the old cup. So up to a certain point, the old cup is going to have more energy. It's going to have more liquid, more water. It's going to get to a point after staying persistent where the new cup is going to have more water and more energy, and it's going to be able to almost neutralize the old identity and almost take control of who you get to be now. So while you're doing this process, that is when your body or the universe or your old identity or your old frequency, whatever you want to call it, is going to start to present challenges in front of you. It's going to start having things happen that are going to want to pull you back to the past. So maybe in the example of starting your own business, you're going to start, taking the steps to start your own business, and you're doing the visualizations, you're doing the spiritual side and the physical side, but then maybe your website crashes, or something that you're doing starts glitching, and then your clients can't buy the new products that you're selling. So this is when things are going to start going wrong in terms of your manifestation, because it's the old identity sort of trying to stay alive. And the more that you continue to persist through the challenges, the more that you're actually going to solidify that new identity by giving it all of your new energy. Okay, so a lot of people will be manifesting and be doing these things, and then when the challenges come up, they revert back to their old identity and say, oh yeah, I'm not a business owner. Clearly this is not working. This is just so hard. This is not meant for me. I'm just gonna go back to my regular job and just forget that I even tried to do this. So that's why a lot of people give up on their manifestations, because the natural circle of manifestation takes them through a very specific point where they're going to be challenged. They're going to be tested. And if you don't persist, you don't win. So that is where divine timing comes in, because it may take you a week to overcome the challenges. It may take you a year to overcome the challenges. It really depends on your internal conviction to your manifestation. So if you're not strong in your faith and you're not strong in your conviction about the thing that you are bringing into the world, about the thing that you're manifesting, these challenges are going to rock your world, and they're going to send you back into the old identity, and you're going to have to start the whole process over again. So it's going to take you back to where you give up, and then maybe it'll take some time for you to realize, oh no, I actually do want to do that thing. And then you're going to have to start again with your intention. And then you're going to have to start again with your physical steps and your spiritual steps. And then the challenges are going to come up again, and you're going to give up again. And then you're going to have to start over again. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying, right? It's a process, and a lot of people get stuck in that loop and they don't push through to finish and complete their manifestation. So you're not actually waiting for the universe to give you your manifestation. The universe is actually waiting for you to be ready for it. And the way that you signal to the universe that you are ready for it, the way that you signal to your subconscious mind, to your higher self, to God, to your shadow, to whatever divine source energy, whatever you want to call it, the way that you signal to that energy that you are ready for the next step is by pushing through the challenges and staying persistent in your manifestation. The easiest way to push through and stay persistent is to not give the challenges your energy. So like in my example, oh, you're starting your own business and your website crashes. You're not going to take it personally and say, oh no, I guess I'm not supposed to do this. Why is this being so hard? Why is this happening to me? Why do I never get what I want? Why does everything have to be so difficult? No, no, no. You are taking the challenge and saying, yes, I know what's happening here. I know this is a test and it's not going to work. I'm not going to give up. So my website crashed. No worries. I'll just open up a Google Docs and I'll just put in the information and I'll give clients that link and put in their orders manually until I can fix my website. Or I'll create a whole new website. Okay, or I'll hire someone to fix my website. Whatever solution you come up with, just look inwards and you'll get an answer as to what is the best solution to overcome your current challenge. But in order to get a good answer, you have to be calm. You have to be thinking from a place of actually having your manifestation and not from a place of feeling like a victim. So if you're in the mindset of a victim and you're saying, oh, why is this happening to me? Why is this so difficult for me? Then the solutions that are going to come to your mind are not going to be the solutions that are going to push you through the manifestation cycle. They're going to be the solutions that actually hold you back and delay the process. So the divine timing is going to actually take longer. It's going to be, the external time is going to be longer than for someone else who stays calm and says, you know what, I know this is a challenge. I know this is just another way of making sure that I'm actually ready for this, and I am ready for this. So I'm ready and open to solutions that are going to get me the manifestation because I know this is going to be my reality and I know I deserve this. I know I get to have this. So when you're thinking from that place, then you're going to get actual solutions and you're going to see how magically the situations just solve themselves. Like one day your website's going to be glitching, you're going to stay positive, you're going to stay centered and aligned in your manifestation, and then the next day all of a sudden it's working again. I've had this happen for me personally because when I was going through this initially and launching my website and all of this and that, I would get people like telling me, oh, this doesn't work or that doesn't work. And I delayed myself because I would go into the victim mindset and I would say, oh, why is this happening to me? Like, why can't I be successful? Like, it's not fair. And that kept delaying my reward. But as I sort of let go of control and said, you know what? I don't care what's not working. It's going to solve itself. Literally, I started seeing I would get emails from the software that I use. So, when you're creating a website, you use a certain software to create your website. So the software literally would email me and say, oh, we've been having issues recently, but we just resolved it. Or something like that, super random, even though I didn't reach out to them. So it's like these situations are going to basically resolve themselves once you prove to yourself that you do deserve what you're manifesting. The way that you prove it to yourself is by overcoming these challenges. Another way that you may be challenged is by having nothing happen. So I know for my YouTube channel specifically, this was the one. I wasn't getting any technical difficulties with my YouTube channel before I got monetized, but it was nothing was happening. So that's another way that you may be challenged at this point. You may feel like you're not seeing any progress, like you're putting in all this effort and you're doing all the right things and you're staying aligned and you're not letting the challenges get you down, but nothing's happening. You're not seeing any results. So that is another way that you sort of have to prove to yourself that you deserve it and prove to yourself that you are dedicated to it, because this is another place where people kind of give up and say, okay, well, nothing's happening. I tried it and it didn't work, so I'm done. And then they give up and they don't realize that they were this close to getting their manifestation. Like this close, literally. So don't give up. That's the main goal here. And the way that you're gonna hack the divine timing and hack that circle of manifestation is by not letting the circumstances affect your emotions, not letting the circumstances affect your dedication to what you are manifesting. Understand that life is a game. This is all for fun. It's all an illusion, and it's when you start seeing it as a game and you start realizing like, okay, I got to level 2 of the game of life. Now these are the challenges for level 2. And once I beat these challenges, then I move on to level 3. And then in level 3, there's going to be those challenges and I have to beat those challenges and then I'll get to level 4. So it really is a game, but it never ends. It's a circle, like I said. So once you have overcome these challenges, that's when you're going to reach almost like the second phase of your manifestation, because you've been tested and your conviction is firm. So this is where your efforts are going to start paying off. They're actually going to start showing you results. Maybe not all the results you want, but you're starting to see something. So you're starting to feel hopeful. You're like, okay, this is actually working now. Thank God, because I thought I was going crazy and I thought I was wasting my time, but now I'm seeing results. Once this happens, you cannot start getting like, how do you say, don't let your ego take over. Don't allow yourself to become overly confident. Confident might not be the right word to use, because confidence is good and you should always be confident, but don't let yourself think that you have it all figured out, okay? Because once you start seeing the results, that's where it's going to move on to the second phase of challenges. So oftentimes you're going to be tested a second time and maybe you'll get a lot of results, but then it'll stop coming. So maybe you're making a lot of sales in your business and you're like, oh my God, I'm successful, I did it, I'm amazing, this is great. And then all of a sudden you just stop making sales. And you're like, wait, I didn't do anything. Like, why is this not working? I thought this was working. I thought I manifested it. Like, what's going on? Oh no. But once again, you have to stay persistent. It's all a part of the plan. It's all a part of the game. Okay, because you overcome the first level, you overcome the first layer of challenges, but guess what? It's not over yet. You still have to prove to yourself that you really do deserve it. So the first challenge was sort of, okay, how would you react if you're putting in effort and nothing happens? Or if you don't get the results you want? Then you overcome that first level. The second level of challenges is, okay, how do you react when you get what you want and it's taken away? Do you still have faith? Do you still have conviction? Or are you going to give up? So that is where that second phase of challenges are going to present themselves, and you have to stay persistent through this, okay? Because once you do, once you persist and once you continue and say, yeah, you know what? I still have faith. I still believe. I still know that I get to have this. That's when you really move on to the actual full manifestation of what you wanted. So that's when you're actually going to start to see all of your efforts like compounding in the background, and your results are going to start like flooding in, and you're going to realize like your life basically changed overnight. So when people say, oh, it was divine timing, it happened at the perfect moment, usually that is what they're talking about. They're talking about this moment where all of the the circle of manifestation, all of those efforts and all of those steps and phases and challenges and everything has sort of like been working in the background and setting you up to receive this big reward, and it's going to look like you got really lucky all of a sudden and you just blew up overnight and you just got super lucky and became successful really fast. But understand that it was not overnight, okay? Because all of that stuff had to happen before you got this like overnight transformation. And you probably have already felt this in the past when you've manifested something that essentially came overnight. But if you reflect on the time before the manifestation came, like the previous week or the previous months, you'll notice that you had challenges come up and you stayed persistent and you didn't let yourself get negative and think that it was hopeless. You stayed faithful, you stayed convicted to your manifestation, and then boom, all of a sudden it came overnight and it's like this huge reward that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened so fast. So once that happens, that's when you really want to allow yourself to process it, allow yourself to understand what you just did. Because oftentimes we manifest something and we get to the point of full manifestation, complete manifestation, and then we forget. We forget that we were manifesting this. We kind of just take it for granted and we're like, yeah, whatever, like on to the next. But you don't realize the magic you just created. So at this point, it's really important to stay grateful and remember what you just did, because you're going to get a new desire. You're going to have something come up where it's going to be the next level of your manifestation, or it's going to be a completely new manifestation. And then if you forget all the magic you just did, you're gonna have to start from the same level, right? So you're starting from a different level of faith. But once you have evidence and you say, okay, I manifested this, then it's way easier to manifest something else because you already have evidence of your abilities. You already have evidence of what you just created. So if you're currently struggling through the process, remember the things from the past. Remember the things that you've already manifested, good and bad, because we've actually manifested a lot of negativity into our lives very effortlessly. And you can use that as evidence too, right? Because just as easily as you could manifest something negative, you could easily manifest something positive. It's just that you're not trained to do that yet. But you can be trained to do that, and that's what I'm teaching you to do, and that's what I teach you in all of my manifesting videos. So once you've received that full manifestation, things are gonna sort of calm down. You're not gonna have these like crazy challenges coming up. You're not gonna have these crazy things trying to like throw you off your game. At this point, you're going to sort of figure out within yourself how to maintain the manifestation. So another thing that people do at this point is sabotage their manifestation. Maybe throughout the process they didn't do the inner work that was required. They didn't actually change their identity, and so they got their manifestation but they weren't really ready for it, and so they sabotage it, or they throw it away in some way. They don't appreciate it in some way. But at this point, you really need to focus on maintaining what you've just manifested. And then it'll get to a point where you've maintained it for enough time. And remember, I'm not talking about external time, I'm talking about internal time. So the time frame, like the actual external time frame that it's gonna take, depends for everyone. Everyone's different and every situation is different. It more so goes by the internal clock and your internal readiness for it. So once you've maintained it long enough to where you feel like it's solid, you feel like it's secure, that's when you're gonna get bored again, and that's when your new desire is gonna pop up. So like I said, it's a circle, remember? So that's when you're gonna start over right at the top, and you're going to have a new thought or a new desire, and then you're going to have to set your intention, and then you're going to have to figure out how you're going to get it, and then you're going to have the new challenges, and then the results, and then the other set of challenges, and then you're going to get the manifestation again, and then you're going to get used to it, and then you're going to get a new desire. So hopefully that was clear. I get really excited about these topics, so sometimes I talk too fast, or I stumble on my words, but it's really straightforward, okay? And it's very simple, and most of the time that's how manifestation goes. Sometimes you can skip steps if you are very advanced. Like with certain manifestations, they just happen instantly, and you're not going to have to go through the whole process. Typically it's for things that are big goals for us, or things that we really don't know if we're ready for yet. But usually it follows the same cycle. It just may happen over the course of like a day, the cycle, or it may happen over the course of a year. So like I said, it really has nothing to do with external time. It's about the internal process that's happening throughout the time and space. Remember, you already have all the tools you need, but if you want to work with me, the links are in the description. I actually have a package available where you can email me or send me a video message explaining your situation, and I will respond to the best of my ability, and that'll help you push through the process and not get lost in your own head and lost in whatever the world is telling you, or whatever your friends or family or the internet is telling you. Sometimes you just need someone who has gone through this process and who knows what they're doing and who is actually wanting to help you, because a lot of these people in your life, it's not that they don't want to help you, it's that they don't know how to help you, or they think that they're helping you, but they're actually holding you back. So it's really important to surround yourself by people that genuinely know what they're doing and genuinely know how to help you. And if you don't have those people in your life, then I'm here for you, okay? So I love you. I hope you enjoyed this. Share this with your friends. Say hello to me in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.